Hello, and welcome to the 2021 Summer Showcase. My name is Ronald Pena, and we are proud to present the latest version of Pet Care, a mobile application developed by the Capstone 2 members, including Paola Castro, Alejandro Curbelo, Sierra Morel, myself, Ronald Pena, Omar Rodriguez, Jose Serpa, and Brian Virgil. The Capstone 1 members who shadowed and assisted us with documentation are Rolando Moya and Daniel Perez. Our product owner is Dr. Hamid Seragat, and our instructor is Dr. Masood Sajadi. Many pet owners enjoy peace of mind knowing that their pet is getting the best possible medical care. COVID-19 has changed ways not only humans, but also pets can receive medical care. With the rise of technology and telehealth, getting medical care has never been easier. Available for both iOS and Android, Pet Care is a mobile application that was developed to allow pet owners to access important information about their pet right in their pockets. Pet Care is a step toward the future of pet medical care and telehealth for animals. Pet Care includes a way for pet owners to save their pets to their profile, view training videos for each of their pets, access their pet's medical information such as lab results, and diagnose potential diseases that their pet may have by entering symptoms in the app's diagnostics tool. The application uses React Native to render its user interface components in the front end and Firebase for its login authentication service and to store user, pet, and disease information into the backend. With its most recent iteration, Pet Care was redesigned with an updated pet profile section that allows the user to have more detailed personal information about their pet than ever before, such as activity level, size, weight, pregnancy status, and more. Information about the pet's diet and prescriptions can now be updated and accessed. An application like Pet Care can not only allow pet care providers to make more thoughtful and insightful medical decisions, but also allow pet owners to have peace of mind knowing that their pet is receiving the best quality medical care. With the use case diagram, you can see how the user and the veterinarian have access to specific key features with the product owner requirements in mind, interwoven with the application and the database. Users and veterinarians share many of the features. However, we found it best to specify what a veterinarian and user should have access to. For example, veterinarians can add prescription drug medication, but users cannot. Many of the functions run through the database in order to store and retrieve information. A basic chat feature was in development to allow for communication between the veterinarian and the user, maybe even with a bot to handle simpler requests, but that is addressed in the shortcomings and wishlist video. The requirements for building our application were given to us by the product owner. Additionally, since we inherited the project from an earlier team, we found it best to continue to keep the technology stack as is and only make a few minor changes as to allow for more easily implementation of updates and maintenance. It affected the choices we made in how we worked on the application. We chose to continue working with React Native since the requirement was to have both an iOS and Android application up and running. But rather than be limited to develop an iOS app with Mac OS and Swift, we opted to continue using React Native. We also used Firebase as our database since it can authenticate users and store user data. For the second iteration of the project, we were tasked with focusing on creating two distinct account types, veterinarian and pet owner. And after doing this, we were able to expand on the capabilities for both account types. For users, this meant expanding the list of information that they can state about their pets. And for vets, this meant prescribing medication, altering lab reports, and suggesting a diet for the pet owners. These user stories can be simplified to the following: a veterinarian profile that is granted administrative powers and a dropdown for prescriptions, a diet history section such that users can input their pet's diet information and vets can make recommendations, and finally, a pet profile information to include key information to regulate a pet's health. This includes size, activity level, pregnancy and lactation, spay, neuter or intact status, living situations, whether it be indoor or outdoors, and more. Here, you can see the sequence diagram, which shows and details the account creation and the login process. This includes the authentication process as well. The diagram also illustrates that the application handles the input of pet information as well as the process to store information to the database. It also shows some features that users can access, such as editing pet information or viewing lab reports. This is a continuation of the sequence diagram to account for the other features of our application as showcased in our demo video. This includes the processes for the prescription feature, the diet feature, the training feature, the diagnosis tool feature, and the other features not showcased in the previous slide. Our pet care application follows two architectural patterns, model view controller and client server pattern. For the model view controller pattern, the controller feeds data into the model by retrieving that information from Firebase and updating the model. The model carries data about the pets such as their name, their breed, and their age, as well as other information such as activity level, size, living situation, etc. The controller also updates the view with specific information whenever these changes occur to the model due to updates from the Firebase. The view can also receive input from the user, sending that data to the controller to update the model and Firebase. In our client-server pattern, all the users who use this application make requests to our Firebase server to get the data stored on their pets. Additionally, they make requests to the YouTube data API whenever they watch training videos. This is a deployment diagram for our pet care application. Here you can see how the different systems in our application communicate at a top level. The user's phone accesses Expo, an application which holds the pet care app. Expo then authenticates the user using Firebase so that they can access all of the features in the Firebase server, such as managing images, managing pet data, and looking at the lab results. Expo also interacts with the YouTube server to access the YouTube data API to receive a JSON of training videos. This is a class diagram showing how our pet care application works in a general sense. It shows how the user only really stores their email and password and has methods for account creation, inputting pet information, and viewing things such as the prescriptions. The user is able to communicate with the veterinarians who have a very similar class structure but with additional capabilities of editing and not just viewing files, as explained by our demo video. The user also accesses the database in order to view and alter all of this information regarding themselves and their pets. Users and veterinarians must both go through an authentication in order to log into their respective accounts. Hello, I will now explain the thought process and use for our prescription tool design feature. We will begin by logging into the application and selecting one of our pets. In our pet profile, we have the ability to view and edit the diet and history of your pet, upload and view lab results, and view or upload prescription drug medication for your pet, depending on your profile account type, whether it be user or vet, and its associated privileges. For now, let's focus on the prescription aspect of the application. You can then navigate to the prescription section, and if you're a veterinarian, begin by searching our database for the prescription drug you would like to prescribe. Next, provide a dosage and time schedule as to direct how often the drug should be administered, as well as providing any additional instructions. These changes will write to the database and reflect on the application in real time. To summarize our work, the team has worked diligently throughout the semester to successfully incorporate several new features into the pet care application as part of its second iteration. More specifically, the features that have been added to this iteration of pet care include a new lab report feature to upload and view pets' lab reports, pet diet and prescription information sections, a revamped pet profile section that includes much more detailed information about a user's pet, and various user interface improvements for a better user experience. The new features that have been added to pet care will contribute to the app's promise to facilitate pet owners to receive the best medical care for their beloved companions by giving users direct access to crucial information about their pets and a quick way to communicate with their veterinarian. Our next steps include incorporating full communication between vets and pet owners through a chat system and a lost pet service feature. These features will be facilitated by future capstone projects in coordinating with the product owner. Our team improved the foundation for future maintenance and updates. On behalf of the entire Pet Care team, thank you so much for watching our Summer 2021 Pet Care introduction video.